Okay, I've got this little Alpha, I think it's a 90 gallon, might be a 120. Milk tank we're getting going again, recommissioning. Put a new condensing unit in there. I've just got it running off a plug at the moment, so we've got to sort the wiring out, but and start cooling the water down. Yeah, it's quite old. And that's got a date on it of 1973, so it's a year older than I am. We've put a relay in there because the old ones, they used to run the compressor off the pressure switch, but these new switches weren't really rated to turn that compressor on and off. Right, yeah. Where were we? Yeah, we put a relay in there because that's only rated at 8 amps resistive, and I bet this thing pulls 30 amps when it starts, and this probably runs about 4 or 5 amps. Anyway, so inductive loads, you always have to have a higher rated switch. So we've got a little big relay, and then we can switch the live and the neutral to it. So I've wired it in so the pressure switch turns the relay on and off, and it's probably off of this ice bank control, which they call a floatless switch, which hopefully will still work. That looks a bit melted. That looks like it's got hot. Yeah, they used to have this Sunvic thermal relay, and it has a heater in there and a bimetallic strip, and that is what. So when you power it up, it takes a while for the heater to heat up, but they make the contacts to come together. And then when you take the power away, it takes a while for it to cool down and open. So it's sort of like 20 to 30 seconds before it kicks in, and then probably 10 or 15 seconds, 20 seconds before it turns off again. And what it is that allows them to turn the switch around from auto to manual without the relay going on, off, on, off, on, off. If something's already running, like that's already running, it lets it keep running while they decide what they're doing with the switch on there. No, I don't think you can get these anymore. That is probably would have been one of these originally. I expect someone swapped it out. We've got to sort the wiring out here. I think this is trailer wire, automotive trailer wire, because you've got one big wire there, which is your live in, and the neutral they were using the blue and the black tied together, because that's probably 2.5mm and that looks like 1.5. That was your agitator, and those two were the thermostat. We've got to find something that will fit on that threads, because I think that's probably I've got a little box of various cable glands and things there. That looks bigger. It's probably not going to be 20mm, it's probably like 3/4 or something. And then hopefully the agitator will work. I've measured it, so it's okay from that side of things. Needs a new thermostat, that's just a thermometer. Should have a cable coming out. We've got a spare one. This is Danfoss, is it Danfoss? No, it's not. It used to be Danfoss. Cambridge. But the needle's right down at -20, so it's lost its charge out the bellows. So we might be able to use the tube and put a modern electronic probe down in there. But at least we get it working so they can run it on manual. Okay, we've got that run off for that temporary. It's got a LCD plug on it. Padlock and the water pump, that's manual. Auto is off. And then I think that one is the compressor, that's the padlock I think, and then that is everything off. voice back control, and if you can see in that's switching on when you plug it in, so that seems to work, and I think that should then power that, which will then send the signal down to the pressure switch, and if that says it's to go, that will then send the signal up to my new relay. And I haven't got the compressor wiring yet, it's still running off of that tester, so we can start cooling the water down before we got this lot done. So I need to get that plugged in properly, and then go see if that's working, because I've got that. I'll be surprised if that still works. That's that thermal relay. Okay, that's all seems to be working. It was off on the low pressure switch, because that was, as it came out of the box, I hadn't adjusted the settings on it. And we're only running at 20 psi. So I've adjusted that, and we've got, I don't know if we can get in there with the testers. There we go. 240 volt on the relay, so that's working. So we can do away with this now and wire it in properly. Okay, if we plug that in, you can hear that click, you see it. Okay, so that is powered up, should be feeding that now, so there'll be a time delay before that kicks in. There we go. And that's how long it takes the heater to heat up and the bimetallic contact to make. And I think on the switch, if I turn it to manual and then turn it off, all systems should be off. And then this is the time it takes for that relay to cool down. Say we've got full cycle. I've got a few bubbles in there. Take a while to. It's been off for quite a while, so the head pressure is still coming up. There we go. That's how long it takes for that to cool down again. So that allows for when the probe's covered, where it makes ice. It lets it build a bit more ice up, so the probe it's not just, it's not going to be covered and then melt and then start up again, then turn off and back on and back off again. Probably ought to make sure where that is. Follow the cable, there it is. Don't know if you can see it. Probably not. It's a blue horseshoe shaped thing. Let's turn that back on to. Right, so that's all more or less working, apart from the thermometer. Got to sort that out. Okay, we've got a new thermostat on there. You reused the old tube from the mechanical one. Luckily, it had a nut at the top, so we could. It's got a little threaded piece, so we could, clamp that on there with a little rubber gasket. And just check that it's just cooled some milk down. Got a temperature sensor in there, and they're reading roughly the same. So, the condensing unit we put in there the other day.
full side glass, and we've got some ice. Can't see the walls, very murky, but yeah, you can see it's making.
So I'll make a cover to go over this bit. Stop all this water splashing on there from when the pump's running. And that'll be job done.